Before you scroll away, you need to hear this story about Kate Middleton and the letter that almost destroyed the royal family. It's 3 a.m. at Windsor Castle. Kate can't sleep again. William's snoring like a freight train, and she's wandering the halls in her silk pajamas, hoping a cup of tea will help. But here's where it gets insane. She pushes open the door to the Queen's old study. You know, the one they've kept exactly as she left it? Moonlight streaming through those massive windows, and Kate's feeling all nostalgic about her late grandmother-in-law. She runs her fingers along the mahogany desk where Queen Elizabeth signed thousands of documents, made countless decisions that shaped history. But then she notices something ODD. The Queen's personal diary, that leather-bound book everyone knows exists but no one talks about. It's sitting there, open, like someone was just reading it. Now Kate's thinking, this is weird, nobody touches the Queen's things. But curiosity gets the better of her, and she glances down at the page, and that's when she sees her own name, not just mentioned casually, we're talking highlighted, underlined, with question marks all around it. Kate's heart starts pounding. She flips back a few pages, and there it is, entry after entry about her, but not the usual Catherine looked lovely at the state dinner stuff. No, this is different. Still concerned about C's background investigation. The gaps in her family history are troubling. Why won't Charles listen? Kate's hands are literally shaking now. What gaps? What investigation? She's been part of this family for over a decade, and now she's finding out the Queen had concerns. She keeps reading, and it gets worse. The private detective's report arrived today. The Middleton family secret runs deeper than we thought. If this comes out, it could destabilize the monarchy itself. Hold up. What family secret? Kate's thinking about her parents, Michael and Carol Middleton, who built their party supply business from nothing. What could possibly be so scandalous about party supplies? But then she sees it. Tucked between the diary pages like a bookmark, an envelope with classified eyes only stamped across it in red ink. Kate knows she shouldn't. Every fiber of her royal training is screaming at her to walk away. But she can't. Her entire life, her children's future, William's throne, it all suddenly feels like it's balanced on whatever's inside this envelope. She slides her finger under the seal. The letter inside is typed on official palace letterhead, dated just 3 months before the Queen's death, and the first line makes Kate's blood run cold. Your Majesty. Per your request, we have completed the genealogical investigation into Catherine Middleton's lineage. The results are unexpected. Kate's scanning the document frantically now. Technical genealogy terms, family trees, DNA analysis reports. But then she sees the sentence that changes everything. Catherine Elizabeth Middleton is the direct descendant of King Edward IV through an illegitimate line previously thought extinct. This makes her claim to the throne potentially stronger than the current heir apparent. Wait. What? Kate has to read it 3 times before it sinks in. She's not just married to the future king, she is royalty. Her bloodline goes back centuries, and according to this document, if the rules of succession were different, if they followed the oldest bloodline instead of the current line, she would be the rightful queen. Not through marriage, through birth. The room starts spinning. Kate grabs the desk to steady herself because this is insane. The Queen knew, and never said anything. Just kept it locked away in her private diary like some kind of ticking time bomb. But then Kate notices there's more. A handwritten note at the bottom of the page, in the Queen's distinctive writing. Charles must never know. The succession crisis this would create would tear apart everything we've built. But Catherine deserves to know the truth after I'm gone. Perhaps William can decide what to do with this information. Kate's mind is racing. The Queen wanted William to tell her, but it's been months since the Queen passed, and William hasn't said a word. Does he even know? She flips through more diary entries, and now she's seeing the whole picture. The Queen wrestling with this secret for years, worried about the constitutional crisis it could cause, afraid of what the media would do with it, terrified that other European royal families might challenge the legitimacy of the entire British monarchy. Because here's the thing, if Kate's bloodline is older and more direct, it doesn't just affect her, it affects George, Charlotte, and Louis. It affects the next generation of royals. Suddenly, Kate hears footsteps in the corridor. Panic. Pure panic. She shoves the letter back into the diary, closes it, and pretends to be examining a photo on the desk. The door creaks open. Kate? What are you doing up? It's William. Hair messy, wearing those ridiculous pajama pants with the little crowns on them that the kids got him for Christmas. Couldn't sleep, she manages, hoping her voice sounds normal. Just thinking about Granny. William walks over and puts his arm around her. I know, I miss her too. But Kate's studying his face now, looking for any sign that he knows what she just discovered. Is he keeping this secret too? Or is he as clueless as she was 5 minutes ago? William, she says carefully, did Granny ever tell you anything unusual about my family? About my background? Something flickers in his eyes, just for a split second, but it's enough. He knows. What do you mean? He asks, but his voice has that careful tone he uses during official interviews. Kate realizes she's at a crossroads. She could pretend she never saw the letter, go back to bed, live her life not knowing that she's been playing a role she was literally born for. Or, I found the diary, William. The silence that follows is deafening. William's arm drops from her shoulders. He takes a step back, and Kate can see him calculating, how much does she know? How much should he admit? Kate, he starts. How long have you known? Another pause. Then William sinks into the Queen's chair like the weight of the secret is finally too much. Since the day after the funeral, she left me a sealed letter with instructions to give you this information when I thought you were ready. And when exactly were you planning to tell me I'm actual royalty, William? When were you going to mention that our children have a claim to the throne that goes back centuries? William runs his hands through his hair. Do you have any idea what this would do if it got out? The constitutional crisis? The media circus? Parliament would have to completely reevaluate the succession laws. Other countries might question our legitimacy. It could destroy everything. Kate stares at him. So you were just going to keep lying to me forever? I wasn't lying. I was protecting you. Protecting our family. Protecting the monarchy. From the truth. The argument that follows is unlike anything they've ever had. Whispered shouting matches in the Queen's study while centuries of royal portraits look down on them. Kate feeling betrayed by the man she loves and the institution she served. William torn between his duty as future king and his duty as her husband. But here's what makes this story really crazy. As they're arguing, Kate realizes something. The Queen's diary. It wasn't just sitting there by accident. Someone wanted her to find it. The study door was unlocked. The diary was open to the exact right page. The letter was positioned like a bookmark. William, she interrupts his explanation about constitutional law. Who else knows about this? Just us. And the private investigator. But he signed a confidentiality agreement that no, someone else knows. Someone wanted me to find this tonight. They both freeze. Because if someone else knows Kate's true lineage, if someone else has this information, they could use it as leverage against the royal family, against the government, against everything. William's already reaching for his phone. I'm calling security. But Kate stops him. What if we don't run from this? What if we take control of the narrative? Kate, you can't be serious. Think about it. The monarchy's approval ratings aren't exactly stellar right now. What if we revealed this ourselves? On our terms. Show that the royal bloodline is even more legitimate than people thought. William's staring at her like she's grown a second head. Or it could start a civil war over who has the rightful claim to the throne. Or, Kate says, her voice getting stronger, it could prove that sometimes fate has a sense of humor. That the commoner who married into the royal family was royal all along. The story ends with them standing in the Queen's study, dawn breaking over Windsor Castle, holding a secret that could change British history forever, and Kate realizing that maybe being common was never about her bloodline. Maybe it was about choosing to serve, to love, to lead with compassion, regardless of what blood runs through your veins. But as they walk back to their chambers, Kate can't shake the feeling that someone is watching, someone who knows exactly what they just discovered, and that person is about to make their lives very, very complicated. The question isn't whether Kate Middleton is secretly royal. The question is, what happens when the world finds out? And trust me, this is just the beginning of the story.